are with the Omega Level Nerds. D Square. I don't know if he ever tells you to get in the chopper. Get in it now. Come kill me. I'm here. J100.
Her.
Yeah,
she was.
I can holler at her. I gotta fight Cyclops and Wolverine to get that Jean Grey. Never mind, forget all that. I'm gonna hit up.
Right, exactly.
Jelly Rose.
But I'm very, very looking forward to a Doctor Doom that does not suck. I'm actually looking forward to more figures since I do collect them.
And Volsker. Naked.
You know what's funny is I was about to say, could it be that Marvel Girl looks like she's trying to get Twitch viewers?
Yeah, exactly. Are gonna get real nerdy for you real nerds. Welcome to the Omega Level Nerds podcast. I am D Square. With me, of course, the other Omega Level Nerds, Jelly Rose, J100, and Volsker. Well, let's get right into it. Of course, we always talk about WandaVision. So we got another episode this week. And yeah, we got some things confirmed that we pretty much saw coming. But Jelly Rose, as our resident Scarlet Witch fangirl, how did you like the episode? What are your thoughts?
It's funny, as you guys said, you confirmed thing. I was like, damn it, they were right! Because, last thing I was like, maybe it's not possible because of her reaction, but then, you guys kind of explained her reaction in a different way, and it's like, that makes sense. But to pretty much start it off with, we start off with another year, which, me and Hubs was talking, and he's like, this is the 2000s era that we're in. But I couldn't figure out what show it was copying.
The Office.
And
it was The Office
and Modern Family.
Right, it was this kind of a
mainly
splice.
Modern Family, but
they did
it was The Office fame.
Yeah, they did the
when
intro.
They were in the house. When they were in the house, it was like when it was Wanda in the house. That was more Modern Family-ish. Then when they were outside, it was more Office-ish. So like. Vision was like The Office.
Right.
Okay. That makes sense. Because I've only watched a little bit of each of those. Because I'm like, what the hell is this one about? I can't get this one.
As soon as I heard the theme, I was like,
yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. And I just thought it was, we see her and she's, talking to the camera and she's pretty much like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. She's watching things kind of like break. Things are just changing and she's looking at it and she's like, I didn't do that. Everything fixes for a second and everything starts glitching. So it's like, oh, is she like losing it? Because at this point, we go into the episode and we're like, wait a minute, why is it starting here? Like, where's Vision? Like, is he okay?
Right.
And it's kind of like, we see the kids and the kids are like, Mom, fix our video games.
They go from the GameCube to the Atari.
Mommy's just closing her eyes. And it's like, I've been there. And a couple things kind of like resonated with me. And it's like, I felt that way. And, it's really getting into her, with the past few episodes, her attempting to cope with her depression, cope with what has happened, cope with what's done. And she's like in this depressive state of, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going on. And I don't know if I really care. And, that's kind of what I got out of it. And, she wants a mommy me time. So Agnes takes the boys. And it's kind of questioning, like, where Pietro is. Because, she tells the kids, that is not your uncle. And they're, like, kind of like,
yeah.
What? Are you sure, Mom? Like, what's up with that? And then, we see outside of the bubble, we see that, Mick what do we call him? McShitty Face?
Yep,
I keep
McShitty
forgetting.
Face. Yep, McShitty
Okay,
Face.
so McShitty Face has gotten a new team together since, most of his other team done got eaten.
Turned into clowns at a circus.
It seems like he's trying to brigade or attack the dome. And then, we go over to Agent Wu and Monica, and we can see, they have their own kind of team going together, and it brings up Cataract, like you guys were brought up in our little chat of the TikTok shit you were watching, which, mentions Cataract and kind of, that they're trying to essentially flip Ultron switch, and we can kind of put together that from the footage of Wanda stealing Vision, that they were trying to turn him on, and that all the McShitty shit face of saying, hey, you can't go against his wishes. His wishes were this. The Sokovian government said this, and still we don't know why that place had it, if he's talking about the Sokovian government, or really what happened, seeing he was left originally in Wakanda. So like, I don't understand how that lab got to him, but obviously he was taken apart. They're trying to fix him to where they can utilize him and use him as their own weapon,
which goes against his will.
Yep. So no wonder she broke.
He'd have been War Machine. Get it?
Oh my. Which Hubs actually brought up that scene of her stealing him was actually a deleted scene from Endgame, which I did not know. So, we see Monica, she wants to go back in this thing, and she has this big vehicle.
So you mentioned the the vehicle trying to go into the hex. Kind of a big, yes. If there is any letdowns of this episode, I guess it would be is that this person that Monica Rambeau alluded to, we all thinking Reed Richards. It's nobody. It's some random sword soldier that brought this space rover thing.
Could still have been created by Reed Richards. I'm holding out hope.
That's true. We could see him like, what happened to my vehicle? I must have calculated everything correct. Oh shit!
Is John Krasinski really Reed Richards? Like confirmed?
Well,
I really, I don't want it.
It's not confirmed. No, it's not confirmed.
I don't want it. I'm not saying that he
if
couldn't
they do the bearded one, perfect.
Don't know about that. Oh no.
Yeah, I'm skeptical, and we'll talk about some Fantastic Four casting news in a little bit. But no, that is not confirmed. So yeah, you're right. It still could be. He's the one that built it, Reed Richards. But yeah. But so that's it. I was just saying, when you mentioned that vehicle, I just immediately thought of, that's the one disappointment of this episode.
So, she gung-hos this wall, which it's repelling her. She quickly makes her escape, and then is like, fuck it, and just runs towards the wall. I got this. They're like, no, don't do it.
Oh, you're just going to do what they told you not to do? Okay, so we don't even need that thing. All right.
So she runs through the wall, and you can kind of see her memories and what she's thinking, and then all of a sudden she jumps out the wall. Her vision's different, and she now has superpowers, which I believe her name is Photon in the comics.
She has like
Spectrum or Photon.
She's got or Captain Marvel. I mean, she's got like three different names. So
3 different names.
I saw her eyes glow blue. I paused it. I was like, wait a minute. Hold up.
Yep.
Oh, shit. And then the vision. I was like,
it's on.
Hubs immediately was like, she's Photon now. I'm like, Okay. He's like, I've been looking up stuff. Like, okay, honey.
You know, that's funny. I'm gonna actually pause your soliloquy right there, because that's actually a very kind of good segue into something I kind of want to bloviate about, and that is, you talk about people that address you yelling about, hey, you Marvel people, what's going on with this show? And this really has reminded me, or awakened me, like this next phase, we're really going to get into. It's going to separate the normies from the people that are actually about the comics and the superhero stuff, because it's now fully transitioned, and it started with Guardians of the Galaxy, but we are now fully transitioned into crazy comic book shit that isn't gonna make complete sense all the time. So I just wonder, is this really where we see that divide, where the normies get the superhero fatigue? And I mean, it'll still make money, so I'm not worried about it, but I wonder. I think this is really going to separate the normies, and just this show really reminded me of that we're really we have to keep scaling up. That's why the comics are the way they are, and you can't just keep rebooting. So yeah, I mean, welcome to comic books, guys.
Do you hear this,
now
DC?
In movie form.
You hear this? You hear this conversation?
I mean,
So
I like
we're gonna level them up next time.
Story.
We're gonna level them up next time after we reboot them again. I mean, let's reboot them again, and then we'll level them up. But when we were about to level them up, let's reboot it. Let's just reboot it. Let's reboot it.
But that's a good point, dude.
DC Comics.
Like,
let's reboot it.
If I didn't read House of M prior to this show would have made me go out and buy it right away. Like,
yeah,
I want to know more, and that's my biggest gripe is what's going on. What's going on? I don't get it. To Jay's point, did you watch everything else prior to this? Like, it kind of foretold shit. Like, you don't have to read comics to understand this.
No.
She's going fucking batshit crazy. Like,
and I'm going to tell you something that amazes me, actually, about this show that I haven't talked about yet, because I just realized it. So when me and the wife watch it on Friday nights, the kids are in bed. The kids... But sometimes I'll watch it when the kids are up. I'll, like, watch the previous week's episode or something. My 6-year-old, Veda, she's obsessed with it now. She will sit there and watch it. Lord Veda. But she, I mean, I am kind of a mystery. Like, but she asks me questions and I answer them in the most simplest way I can. But even
did you name your daughter after? Funny thing, my daughter's middle name is Vanna after Victor Von Doom.
Oh, that's funny. No, she's actually, conveniently enough, her great grandmother was named Veda, and we named her. Most people think it's from my girl too, but nonetheless, my point being, 6-year-old little girl is just like, I'm about it. Just sitting by herself, she'll turn it on and watch it. She's a Scarlet Witch fangirl, I can already tell.
The problem that I have with the normies with this one is that one thing, and this is why I'm not successful on social media, because the things that like make things move, like like I don't know, like comical ignorance, like
yeah,
I don't know anything about anything, like I don't know, I can't vibe with it, so when it comes to people trying to get into WandaVision, just shut the
we didn't even know what was going on, and we read
the show. and like the biggest part about it are the people who get paid to write their ignorance on like IGN or like whatever. I'm just so confused.
Too much story building.
Yeah, like what are you talking about? Like shut up. Like you aren't Kevin Feige, you aren't these directors, you aren't these writers. You clearly don't have, the chops. You work for fucking IGN or whatever the fuck we're talking about.
That's why I hate movie
critics. And it drives the narrative. It drives the
I agree
narrative,
with
and
you.
it makes these guys who make these like Easter egg videos, like it's like it feels like they're a waste of like. Watch that if you want to know what's going on a week to week basis. Watch Emergency Awesome.
Right.
Watch
That's why I
what's
send
the
you
dude?
those
I mean,
guys
that's
those
the new
TikTok
dude.
shit. Like I'm
Heavy
on TikTok. Like,
spoilers. Yeah, like shut up. You don't get to control this narrative. Like I don't want to like shit on nobody, but like this is something I feel deserves to be shit on because stop it. Just watch the show like the rest of us. And like if you don't know, there's a comics explained.
shit,
Yeah.
Have them
there's Wikipedia,
tell
for
you
God's
what House of M is, and you shut the hell up. It's like 45 minutes long. Okay, take 45 minutes out of your day, get some comical or comic source context, and shut up, please.
Take 45 minutes of your day and read the fucking comic. I mean,
Go
Right.
read a wiki. Like, even go to the freaking Wikipedia.com and search the character. That's even something.
yeah. I mean,
Oh,
that's what I
yeah,
did.
we
when
are-
in the Spectrum and Photon.
anybody
Like,
that's
I don't
like-
know who she is.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't know who Agatha Harkness was. Learn that shit. All right, bet it fits into a whole bunch of other stories that I kind of knew
Mhm.
about. I didn't know she was connected to. All right, cool. But like I'm not trying to sound like, like or for anybody that's like like, oh, why can't you just let people just, whatever. No, it's not, because you're ruining it. It's not even about why can't you let people. Why do you have to ruin it?
Yeah.
And it's not even like trying to be a comic book gatekeeper or anything like that. It's just like, even for the people who are just watching it, who aren't, feeling like their ignorant voice needs to be heard. Like, you're ruining it every week. Just some stupid shit. I gotta scroll by. Like, just watch the show. It's great. It's awesome. If anything, these guys who spend the time looking at every single thing on screen deserve to get some more love.
Jay, you know what that reminds me of? And maybe, Jelly, you might know this. This reminds me of one of the craziest fucking off-the-wall reviews IGN did. I think it was for Sapphire or something. They gave Pokemon a 7 out of 10 because too much water.
Oh, that's some shit.
So that reminds when I read this, and it was like, it's a good episode, but there's too much world building. That's
Too much.
all.
Yeah.
What the fuck were
It's
the
a good
last 3 episodes?
There's too much grass. It's really good, but there's too much sky.
These
There's
are
too
in black
much
and
of the
white.
color blue.
Why are they in black and white? I don't understand why they're in black and white. This is weird. I'm not watching this anymore. Like, okay. Good.
You know, I hope the directors and writers of this show get more MCU projects, because they took something off the fucking wall, and I love it. Like, I am loving every fucking bit of this show.
Nah, fuck them. I bought this 4K TV and I gotta watch black and white. I mean, come on here. Fuck those guys.
All right.
Oh, that was weird trying to explain to Haley. I was like, do you see how it's a big square not taking up the TV?
Yeah.
Then we're watching, and then it finally went full screen. I was like, do you see that?
Yep, I had a similar conversation to Rourke. He's like, well, why didn't you have flat screens back then? What was the problem? And I'm like, what?
Shit, we had a fucking turn dial back in the 70s.
Like, you see this little square here? Yeah, that used to be the family TV. But to your point though, Jay, I think you're, that's why I think this is kind of do the normies get off the train here? We're kind of seeing that a little bit with their complaints, although I don't think they will. They'll just stick around and complain some more. And if you could please stop, that would be. If you could just go ahead and stop attention. That. Yeah.
And
just
they
go
get
watch
attention
really
when
weird
complaining.
attention. It's weird attention.
And that's why they're online. They're looking to stir up some shit. Well, and speaking of stirring up some shit, and you actually mentioned Agatha Harkness. So let's,
We're not to that part yet.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Not yet.
So,
Photon.
We see her taking running. While this is going on, Vision approaches Darcy and is like, hey, we had this eye thing. And she's like, okay, creep.
That's a hard pass. She said that's a hard pass.
He's like, no, wait. She's like, okay, I'll date you, but I'm getting lobster.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed her.
He's like, oh, just
Her
let me.
sass.
He just gives up and just touches her and is like,
Wake your ass
okay,
up.
are you good now? And she's like, oh, oh.
And wasn't it funny? She was in
Pretty much-
handcuffs, and then in the Hex, she was an escape artist.
Just,
Yeah.
she just like pulls it off. She's like,
When she rejects him, like, no, I'm out.
but like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, I thought it was funny that she just, they get into the car and they go off, and obviously we see that they don't want Vision and Darcy to get to wherever Wanda is, and
Right.
Vision's like, Wanda's preventing us, because we see guys go up to fix the stoplight, and then we see a school of kids. So he's finally like, I can fly.
Yeah.
But
No
outside the
sound.
bus scene where he's like, why am I here? What the fuck? Sitting in the chair.
I thought that was so funny. He's like, isn't he supposed to be like the smartest thing ever? Did he just realize, hey, what the fuck am I doing?
I'll say real quick, the dynamic between those two I thought was really cool, and it really got to some nitty gritty where she was explaining, like, look, she had to watch you die over and over and over. Like, that's kind of why she's going crazy.
Right, like, I thought, at this point, Vision knows everything. He knows a little bit of his
Yeah.
past. He kind of knows what's going on. So he's like, I'm going to go help my wife. And I think it's really interesting that he doesn't hold any resentment or anything. He's just like, I have to get to my wife to make sure she's okay. So it's like, like Darcy says, she's like, you guys really have that connection. Your love is real.
You're perfect for each other.
So that I was like, oh, so
Yeah.
that was interesting. So then, Monica finally catches up with Wanda and is like, you need to bring this down because they're gonna come get you. And she's like, nah, I don't want to hear it. And kind of is like, back the fuck up. And this is when Agnes comes over and is like, you need to leave, friend. And I wanted to point something out one of the boys said earlier. He's like, I like your house. It's not noisy. Because earlier he was complaining about the noise. So, Agnes brings her in here. She's asking, hey, where are my kids? Like, I see sandwiches, I see drinks. There's cartoon on. Like, oh, they're in the basement.
Bunny.
And the bunny.
We see the bunny like 3 times.
So, leads in the basement. We find out that Agnes is whoever the hell you guys said she is.
Agatha Harkness. Agatha Harkness.
So, pretty much she's been controlled probably this entire time. It's not Wanda that was trying to prevent Vision and Darcy from coming. It's probably Agatha. And then my question is, where are the kids? Because you don't see them. They're not in the basement.
Where are the kids indeed?
My theory on that is, the one, kind of has a little bit of her powers and is like, it's quiet here. Maybe the clock started ticking and is like, okay, brother, we're dipping out, and they dip out, or she did something with them.
Maybe they're Darkhold.
And then, after seeing credits, we see Monica trying to go in the hatch, and we see Fake Tro.
Snooper's gonna snoop.
And it's kind of like, that was a question of where has he been the entire time, too. So we can kind of see that he wasn't from McShittyface, but from her.
Right. Yeah, definitely very interesting. Of course, the big reveal being that Agnes is indeed Agatha Harkness, and she has been manipulating events she's always come in at the perfect time. So one theory is that she's the one that kind of manipulated the thing that happened, that she then came in and had the perfect solution for. And yeah, at the beginning of this episode, we were talking about the Modern Family, you know, Wanda going through, you know, some things, Vision's not there. Well, Agnes came in and was like, hey, it looks like you could need some, you know, mommy alone time. And of course, Wanda needing mommy alone time was like, yes, please. And the twins go off with Agnes. Other reveal, of course. So yeah, we got Photon. You guys touched upon that.
Superhero landing.
Superhero landing, yeah.
Please tell me,
She
I'm
was able to stop.
Here, but
No.
that thought of Deadpool when she fell down, I was like, yeah.
No, you didn't, because you know what? I watched that this weekend after that. I watched Deadpool 2. And so yeah, we see that she uses her powers to resist Wanda from slamming her down. So, you know, she's a match for Wanda, which is cool.
I like when she looked at one and she's like, yeah, go ahead and do it. Blast me. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Because doesn't she have the ability to absorb and like shoot the energy back?
I mean, we'll see. I'm not complete familiar with her. I'm really not. So we'll see how that goes.
I know she's in tune with like the electrical spectrum from what I got.
Right. But let's talk about Hayward McShittyface. So, you know, he had Vision. Wanda took Vision. So really this is who Darcy explains this. So basically what Hayward McShittyface is trying to do is he just wants Vision back. He's willing to destroy everything. He just wants Vision back, and he's going to blame the destruction on Wanda. So he's basically going to name her as a terrorist to get away with him getting Vision back to be his weapon. So that is, you know, yeah, that is McShitty. But yeah, so it turns out Agatha Harkness, she's revealed herself, and she had the kids. Now they're gone. And like you said, you know, Wiccan, you know, he's like, oh, it's quiet here. So that lets us know that, you know, Agatha has some sort of psychic barrier around her house. We go into the basement. We see this dungeon. We see a book that's glowing red. And yeah, she reveals to Wanda, like, you ain't the only magic person. And there we go. I mean, the game is on.
That basement has so many, the Darkhold.
Yeah, the Darkhold.
Which is links to Mephisto. There's 3 huge Easter eggs in that basement scene. The Darkhold. I don't know if anybody caught it, did it look like you see a glimpse of a demon in the background during one of the shots? It's actually a horned beast hanging from the wall. And then to the left, there is a painting of a devil. Like, that whole scene is...
I thought I saw a strange shadow, but okay. Yeah, I'll have to check that out again.
Like that, so, if that's not to Mephisto, like that's...
Yeah. Well, and, you know, in the comics, you know, Agatha, of course, you know, has a lot to do with the twins disappearing. Turns out that the twins, and again, in the comics, are actually shards of Mephisto's soul. And so they had to go back. And so Agatha is paramount, you know, involved in basically erasing Wanda's memory of these 2 children. So we'll see if they stick to something like that. But yeah, definitely a lot more, you know, more Mephisto vibes. And you know what? They didn't fake us out with the Agatha Harkness stuff. So maybe the Mephisto thing is going to happen, and we're not going to get faked out. But
I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't happen in the show, but he ends up becoming the main villain in Multiverse of Madness.
Multiverse of Madness. Interesting. Well, we could.
How many episodes do we have left?
3? 2? 2? Okay.
Because this was 7, we have 8 and 9. And I still think that fucking bunny is Doctor Strange. Because somebody brings it up. Like, I don't know if you guys watched it. Think about it. Doctor Strange is one of the most powerful magic users, and he's here to protect basically the Earth in any universe issues.
Our reality,
Why wouldn't he been the first one there as soon as she did this?
I'm trying to think because he came back with a snap, just like Monica did.
Oh, he just got there. In there for.
So I think
that's interesting.
I think he's the bunny because I think she can match him in abilities, and when he got there, she snuck up on him and captured him. Because that even goes back to one thing you guys didn't mention was when it actually showed the cutscenes of her going and actually like manipulating scenes through all the episodes that we've seen.
Yeah,
and one of them
doing a
was
little
the
hand
bunny.
motion.
So I don't know. I think some shit's about to happen. That's for sure.
Well, hey, next week's issue is what they normally refer to
like
as
she
penultimate.
kind of like at the end was doing some shit to Wanda. So like I don't know if she was trying to take control, try to erase stuff, trying to put her back under control. But we have, Monica and Pietro outside the door. We have Vision on the way. But I don't know what Darcy's gonna do, but she's coming.
Yeah.
We don't know where the boys are, if they are, in whatever. Yeah, if they're still around, like I said, if they noped out, or if Agnetha did something to them.
Because D, you might know this more than me. If I'm correct, the Darkhold isn't that how they use to open interdimensional travel in the comics?
One of many ways, but yeah.
Because that Darkhold could be the cause, I'm thinking, of Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah. Yeah. But, the Infinity Stones are doing crazy shit too, so.
Touché.
We'll just have to wait and see. And not worry about it too much. But yeah, another good episode as far as I'm concerned. So lots of good stuff. We'll see who, this Pietro, I've heard he's possibly Agatha's son, actually. And he was kind of dressed like, some like 20-year-old kid that lives at home still. But we'll see.
He was like in his pajamas or something in the end scene, wasn't he?
Yeah. But it does confirm that, okay, so we're not actually going to get an Evan Peters Pietro. It's a fake out.
So he has quick speed, like
did Agnetha
gave it to him, or is he some sort of different hero or something? Like, who else has that quick speed?
Yeah, well,
I'm thinking that she might have brought him over from a different universe. Like, we don't even know if she's in this universe.
Yeah.
Or dimension, whatever the...
Interesting. So I'm thinking more of magic, but that is legit. I think that's a legit idea. I mean, I'm thinking more magic, but I mean, absolutely could be pulled from another reality. So we'll have to wait and see how that gets explained or what they reveal. But I'm ready, for anything. But, I get, I'm kind of checking off the list that we're not getting a new Pietro. Still kind of weird to have MCU without Quicksilver, though. That really was not a character they should have killed off.
We can blame Joss Whedon.
He's getting blamed for a lot these days, so.
I mean, if he didn't get killed off, then WandaVision wouldn't be a thing because she wouldn't have lost everything. At that point, she would have still had at least her brother.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, I think they could have, because in the comics, he never went anywhere, and House of M still happened. But it was all but her grief came from losing the twins. So, yeah.
Because she wanted to give everybody what they wanted, and then that's when the No Mutants happen.
Yeah, yep. Talk about getting what you want. Let's talk about something that I wasn't even excited about or on my radar, but now I am intrigued. And that would be the Mortal Kombat Red Band trailer. Boy, I am impressed. It looks like it's going to be great. And before I throw it over to you guys, though, I just want to say that HBO Max, you don't need the Snyder Cut to sell your service. I mean, just seeing the Godzilla vs. Kong, Mortal Kombat, everything else that you've already got in your backlog.
Snyder Cut 2.0. Don't forget about that.
Oh yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's why we get a black and white Snyder Cut to also up the ante.
Oh my god! And like, so, yeah, he's like, yes, this, Zack Snyder. He's like, how could I possibly make this darker? What could I do?
That's like one of the biggest gripes I have with DC movies is they're so dark. You can't see what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
I tried to watch something like, I don't know, a couple years ago. And it was just like,
yeah.
Is this whole screen just black? I hear people talking. I don't know what the fuck's going on because I can't see. Let me turn the brightness up.
At the warehouse.
I can kind of make a silhouette over here.
Yeah, you're fucking with settings and shit on your TV.
Oh, God.
You can't see anything. That's not appealing. That just makes it look grody. Like, you just want to, like,
And so you talk about grody, right?
Turn the flashlight on in the movie. Is there a button to make the make the character put his flashlight on? Because, like, he can't probably see shit either.
That's where
Do you guys need better cameras? Like,
no, the cameras are fine. Just Snyder has decreed that they're going to put a black hole in every studio.
No, they just need to just destroy them. I'm making
just self-destruct. But you shouldn't.
No,
Yeah.
suck.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why he thinks that's so cool. I don't get it. I don't know.
Black is night. Black is Batman. Dark.
Right,
I am the dark. Like, dude, you're the fucking retard.
Right. You've got Batman. You've got Blade. I mean, we've got dark shit. The Justice League is not supposed to equal dark. But look at Mortal Kombat. You talk about grody, right? So this Red Band trailer, it's all gory, all dark material, yet it looked great. But yeah, I wasn't even excited for this at all, but now I'm very, very excited.
You've seen it.
So what do you think of this new Cole character, though? He's not in the games. That's what some critique I've seen is. Who's this Cole guy?
I'm 50-50 on it.
Luke Kang.
Just the whole tattoo, and he's something to the Mortal Kombat, or rumors are potentially something to do with Sub-Zero and Scorpion's like rivalry. I don't know. I'll wait to see, because I really wish. God, I just blanked out. What's his face was in it, because he's missing, but they replaced
Johnny Cage.
Yeah, with this guy. So
right.
At least he's a fighter.
We're upset that Johnny was gone. That was the biggest gripe I've seen. Like, where's this guy?
I don't understand why it's so important.
Where's this guy?
Yeah, I was going to ask, what do you guys think that Johnny Cage is in it?
Like people's favorite character to play with, or something.
I mean, he's one of the main characters.
He was pretty involved throughout the newest games. Like, in the older movies, he was kind of like, but like in the newer games, he was still like, but you needed him in the storyline.
I'll tell you why I kind of marked his absence, and that was because everybody else from the original game was introduced. Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Sonya, Raiden, Kano, Liu Kang, but not Johnny Cage. That was the only reason. I don't like him as a character, don't like playing with him, but that's the only reason I kind of noted it and was going to ask you guys what you thought of his absence.
I mean, you have Sonya, like, they can't have the other characters that are in the newer game introduced, like Sonya and Johnny's daughter, if that's going to be a thing, or they're just going to F that storyline and they ain't going to have kids, or Jax's daughter, or wasn't there somebody else's kid too? I don't remember.
I haven't kept up with Mortal Kombat, so that's why this was,
Hubs only plays fighting games.
The big issue, though, Johnny is one of the originals, like all the way back from when it all started. So that's kind of what's weird of just kind of kicking him out. But for all we know, he could still be in there, and
That's
they
what
just
I'm saying. It's just a trailer.
Yeah.
Right.
I have no idea what this movie's about.
Because we didn't see Reptile either, and he was
That's why I don't like
technically.
trailers. That literally is the reason why I don't like trailers.
he is in there actually.
Oh, did
Gotta
I miss
be.
him?
Was
Yeah,
he on IMDb? You see it on IMDb?
Did you guys see the extended red band where after the trailer ends, they just have a montage of fatalities?
Oh no!
Oh, he was in one of those.
Reptile like gets his fucking chest punched through.
Oh, okay. Alrighty.
So I think that might actually be who Kano's pulls out.
Pulls the heart out. Yeah, he looks like he's going to be a fun character.
What did he say? It was I can't. Kano wins, bitch.
Yeah, and oh, it's a fucking beauty, you know.
It's gonna remind me of Captain Boomerang from
Yeah, exactly. Starts out as one of the good guys, it looks like, though, so that's interesting.
Wasn't he at one point like a good cop or something before he went bad?
Yeah, I know him and Sonya have some sort of beef. Like he betrayed Sonya.
I wonder if they're going for that because a lot of people were questioning that.
Yeah, I mean, this looks like origin type stuff. So yeah, Jay is right. It's just a trailer. It's the start of something, So there really is no reason to be upset. But I don't know.
Too?
What's that?
Not me.
What's gripe too?
Not
okay.
Me, but biggest gripe outside of Johnny Cage being gone, and this is going to unleash Jay. So I'm sorry, Jay. People are complaining and flipping their shit because Melina is black.
What?
Yep. People are like, "What the fuck? She's not black," and people are like, "You do realize she's like dark tan? They never gave her ethnicity in the game."
You do realize
she was a fucking alien,
right? She's not human.
She's part of what Baraka is.
Right. You do realize she's got about 80 teeth on her jaw, right?
I saw that. I was like, "What the fuck, people?"
Yeah,
that's... Like, you just see, why is she black? Why is she black? Like, what the fuck? Really? You just got the fucking Sub-Zero free Scorpion's blood and fucking shank them, and you're worried about somebody's color?
Right. Why are they?
Does it even really matter anymore?
Zero.
Like,
not at all.
Y'all
Zero.
just want to complain. I just want to see a movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
That's why I don't like trailers.
But yeah. So yeah, though, I'm excited. I'm excited. So HBO Max, you don't need the Snyder Cut. I know we're gonna get it. I will say,
my HBO Max is free, so
yeah,
and I still ain't gonna watch whatever the fuck you guys are talking about.
Oh, we're having a watch party, Jelly. We're having an Omega Nerds watch party.
I have not watched a single DC thing on my HBO Max. I'm not gonna start it.
Jay just got
done that for other things.
We need you to join the party.
No.
I know. I seen it in the background. He was watching something with Wonder Woman because I seen her ass.
Yeah, that's all.
Not even
Batman.
like
BVS.
Her ass isn't even that nice.
No.
One of those ones you can like spread apart and put it in her butt real easy. Like that is not.
Speaking of her ass, did you know that in the movie Wonder Woman had? Was it Wonder Woman or was it somebody had an ass double? Who had an ass double?
It probably was Wonder Woman. You talk about in Justice League? Huh?
One of the superhero characters had an ass double. Hubs told me this the other day.
Was it Chris Evans?
Because like
America's ass.
The whole thing about I didn't like about Justice League, it was just like every time they could fucking put all in some compromising position, they would. Legs spread open, fucking butt right in the camera.
I mean, that goes along with the complaints that are going on with Joss Whedon, and 50% of that film was his shoots.
I mean, like, I don't mind it. I'm just saying that, like, it was just too obvious after a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they literally were like, there's this one scene where it was like panning her butt. And it was like pan out.
Oh, when they're walking together.
Okay.
It was Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel. They had an ass double.
Oh, yeah,
bad.
Brie
Larson.
does have
Oh,
an ass.
you know why? Because that chick really don't got no ass.
Oh wow, I didn't know it was to the
Brie
level
Larson
that.
about as skinny as my fucking
Oh,
left
it's flat.
leg.
Jelly. Oh,
still
it's
flat.
flat.
Oh, it's flat. I was wondering who the hell he was telling me the other day.
That's
I was like,
still,
wait, what is this? Nope, it wasn't.
it's still weird that they would need an ass double though. It's just
Superheroes can't have flat butts, man. They gotta be nice and round.
no, this won't work at all. Bring in the ass double.
Now I want to see Brie Larson's butt.
Reminds me of Orgasmo.
Yeah.
But
All right, so let's go ahead and get this train closer to the end of the track here and talk about some quick news items. So Jessica Jones and the Punisher have had their rights revert back to Marvel now that the shows have been canceled to Netflix. So they are coming home, and we can assemble the Defenders once more. So I know that Volsker was into that very much.
Yeah. Jay was a big fan of them too. I think we're the only two that actually really watched them.
yeah, Jessica. I actually liked Iron Fist, but whatever.
Iron Fist was pretty damn cool.
I have not watched any of them, but the one thing I heard about Iron Fist that would absolutely disgust me, and maybe this is something they'll pay off later, that there's supposed to be a sleeping dragon under the city, and we never see it.
Didn't we?
Season 2 ended on a huge cliffhanger, and it never came back.
Yeah.
Because he started getting his alternate powers where he can power up guns, and then it was he finally was able to use his full extent of his power, and then cancel.
Yeah. Well, so hey, do you guys want to see them be the Defenders, or do you want to see them remain individual shows?
Their individual shows were kind of connected anyway, so.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
keep
they
doing
all
individual
jumped in
stuff.
and out.
And if I
They'll all
remember
come together.
correctly, I think Doctor Strange was a member of the Defenders, so that'd be cool to see them team up with him.
He was, I think, at one
And
point.
I want to see Luke Cage with Jessica Jones.
Mm-hmm. I think
Oh,
the Hulk
absolutely.
was a Defender at one point too.
Well, yeah, I mean, in the comics, everyone's been a something, but yeah.
They get around each other's teams.
They get around.
They get around.
And then, of course, big rumor / news, I guess, is looks like Jennifer Lawrence is possibly going to be cast as Sue Storm. We were talking about the Fantastic Four earlier in a conversation. There was a tweet from some people that were involved in production that kind of pointed out, though, that hey, there's not a writer. We don't have any of this work done that we would normally do before casting. So, kind of trying to debunk that rumor. But it could be your classic Marvel, misdirection. So, it's an interesting choice. That it means she wouldn't be Mystique, which makes me happy. She's, she kind of phoned in those last couple.
Marvel's been pretty spot on the casting throughout its run.
Yeah.
So they don't start messing up now.
I think that with Sue Storm, there is more opportunity to kind of be more dramatic, maybe play more to Jennifer Lawrence's strong suits. And if she, and she's obviously a very good actress. So, if she's into the role and going to give it her all, then I think it'll be great. And I just don't want to see Mystique, Jennifer Lawrence Mystique again. So, I'm certainly all for it if it turns out to be true. We don't know yet. We won't find out for at least a little bit. But looks like there's some...
part of it, I guess this kind of goes back to a little bit what we were saying earlier. Like, if she is cast as Sue Storm, that puts a lot more damper that I don't think John Krasinski is going to be Reed, because the rumor was it was Emily Blunt and him. That's where they both were meeting with Kevin Feige and a bunch of directors like last year. And I don't believe the whole casting shit, because if they're going to introduce Reed Richards, they at least have an idea of at least some of the casting.
Yeah. Isn't she very expensive as far as actresses go? Like, isn't she like a really high paid? I don't know much about this sorts of thing. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, but
I
Jennifer Lawrence would be a lot more. I think Jennifer Lawrence was like one of the most paid actresses for a couple of years.
Right. Makes sense. So,
I mean, they got the money.
Oh yeah, it's fucking Disney. Like.
That's true. That is true. They do have the money. All it takes is money. All right. Well, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but as of recording this, which is on a Sunday, February 21st, it is the 35th birthday of a little video game called The Legend of Zelda. That's right. So, happy 35th birthday, The Legend of Zelda.
Happy birthday to you. You live in a zoo. You look like a monkey and you smell like one too.
It's a few months older than me. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Such a classic franchise.
I wish I had the gold cartridge, but I'll take the gray one too. Yeah, no, it's it's a very special franchise to me. I can remember when I was a little kid. So again, I'm 40. It's 35. Do the math. Before the internet, before magazines that told you what the hell to do. I mean, this was a very cryptic and what back then would be considered a pretty open world game. You know, it had 8 dungeons, but you didn't have to go to dungeon 1 before, you know. So literally you would just be poking around for weeks before you found something out. And you put it on your notebook and saved it for later and took it to school and shared it.
Which bush you gotta burn.
Right, which bush you gotta burn, which, you know, stone statue do you have to push. So yeah, 35 years old today. And coincidentally enough, my son Rourke picked up Link to the Past today on the Switch and was playing it. So I was like, all right. And it was funny because I got to school him a little bit because, you know, he's just going through the first dungeon and he's like struggling. Oh, these guys in the blue armor, they're so tough. And, you know, he's like, Dad, play this for me. And I'm just like, shink, 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 shink. I'm like, I'm not even sweating. You know, he's dying and shit. And I'm like, see this? Do you see this, Rourke? Do you see? Okay, just so you know. Anyway.
The first Zelda I've ever beat, actually.
Yes, I remember that. He mentioned you, actually. He's like, if I beat this, I'm going to tell Alan. So,
it's honestly, to me, like, I love the other ones. I love, like, Ocarina of Time, but Link to the Past is my favorite and by far, I think, the best one.
I get too lost in Wind Waker to actually beat it.
Oh, I love Wind Waker. But I agree, Link to the Past is the favorite, but the original Legend of Zelda, it's definitely number 2 for me. And innovative back in the day.
That game,
Isn't there supposed to be a new Breath of the Wild soon, too?
New Breath of the Wild, and they just announced they're remastering Skyward Sword for the Switch.
Yep. Which I never played that one. I didn't play Twilight Princess either.
Played since Link to the Past.
It was after Twilight Princess. Skyward Sword. It was like weird bird and shit.
Yeah, I thought I played through like half of Twilight Princess, and I was like, this is not Zelda to me. I don't know. It was just, I don't know. But I played all through Breath of the Wild, and you know, the only thing I didn't like,
awesome.
It was good. I didn't like the dungeons, how they did them. I want dungeons. I don't want. I mean, it had a bunch of little dungeons, so I get it. But anywho,
there's more puzzles.
Right.
Grand Theft Auto Zelda.
Right. But happy birthday, Legend of Zelda turns 35 today.
The Famicom.
Yep, on the Famicom. And then
Famicom.
Super Famicom. I gotta go to Japan someday.
Yeah.
All right, and before we get out of here, Volsker, good news for you, buddy. Batman 89, Michael Keaton's Dark Knight is returning in DC Comics. So.
It's going to be interesting. From what I read, it's in between where it takes place between Batman and Batman Returns. Kind of fills in that time period.
Gotcha.
And I mean, it makes sense. They're bringing him as Batman.
I mean, that's a Batman that almost
Flash
got
movie.
me.
Yeah. So.
And the shit that he got when he got cast. Like,
yeah.
you still go over people and I thought he was awesome. That doesn't mean I'm Robert Pattinson. I'm not giving him any slack. Fuck that guy.
No, Michael Keaton probably was the second best Batman outside of the dude who does his voice on the cartoon.
Oh, Kevin Conroy? Fuck yeah.
That's
Kevin Conroy Batman. And Mark Hamill.
Kevin Conroy, then Michael Keaton, then Christian Bale.
They have a child together. They did the. Is that what you just said? They did that.
She's ruining my childhood.
Yeah.
It was that noise that he made. That's the only thing I could think of afterwards. It was like, oh, they did the nasty.
Kevin Conroy was awesome. I got to meet him at a convention when he signed My Pop, and it was just like somebody had him climb up on the table, and you just hear, and he was like, "Oh, Batman!" Everybody's looking like, "What the fuck?" Dude was awesome.
That's kind of what the Vegeta / Piccolo voice actor always did when at conventions. He was always in character. I got to see that a few times.
Kakarot.
Yeah, awesome. I gotta tell you, if Warner Brothers really wanted to make a splash, and I just with all the technology and money, like how are they not making a Mark Hamill Joker with Kevin Conroy Batman movie? I mean, just one. It's not going to be a whole series or franchise because they're both aged, so it's going to have to be some cool one shot. But they got to make that happen. And again, I understand Kevin Conroy's not the most physique, handsomest guy. I get it. Nor is Mark Hamill. But boy, would that be cool if they could find some way to CGI him up so it's a decent action flick with Conroy Batman and Hamill Joker. I don't know. It just seems like that'd make a lot of money.
That would be fucking awesome.
But what do I know? What do I know?
I'm hoping we get to see them if the rumors are true about doing the animated series sequel. I hope they return because it would not be a true sequel.
You know they will at some point. You know they will. And it's another thing that can sell HBO Max. So...
Well, I mean, look at the Arkham games. That's one of the reasons I love those. Like, those two in there, like...
Yeah.
It was literally like, okay, this is adultish, cool, believable Batman, but we have the best voice actors for these characters. Like, it was fucking great.
It was. Those are some masterpieces. All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and end this masterpiece tonight. But before we skedaddle, Jelly Rose, if you could please tell us what's going on with you. Where can we find you?
You can find me in my head sometimes.
Eh?
You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at J3LLI3ROS3. And then you can find me on Twitch, YouTube, and Patreon at Jelly Rose with normal E's. You can also find me at jellyrose.blogspot.com where I have past reviews on there. And very soon I'm actually going to set time aside to start reviewing again. As well as the YouTube is going to get used soon. It's just that I've been kind of like trying to get things settled in the house so that I can focus. And I've been kind of like destroying each room and like reorganizing and throwing shit out as I go. Almost there.
Oh,
About another week.
you're getting ahead of your spring cleaning there. That's good.
Pretty much. I keep finding cool shit though. I found a whole bunch of posters for my stream room, which is awesome. I have like
Nice.
a bunch of ones from UFS, which is Universal Fighting System. It was pretty much a card game oriented on fighting games. So I have like a Tira, I have a Sophidia, I have the guy in SoCal with the sword. Bunch of SoCal ones.
Yeah.
Because they did SoCal, they did Street Fighter, they did Darkstalkers, they did a bunch of the card games. So I have a lot of cards for some of them.
I used to
You
have
can
a lot of
also
fun with
find me.
Darkstalkers. So
I always wanted to cosplay
It's a fun
as
game.
Felicia.
yeah,
I'm going to one day. I'm going to
Is
lose a
that the
stomach.
cat?
yeah.
So, you can also find me at ccteam.net, where you'll see the team that I am one of the founders of. We have our own community servers for multiple games, as well as we're looking for graphic artists, video editors, and what's the other one? Musicians for our team. I'm like, what is the other one? But pretty much we wanted to collect everything that was you need streaming wise, knowledge and all that into one place for everybody, for our members and for our community.
Nice. All right, yeah. Make sure and go check that out. J100, sir. How about you?
Check me out on youtube.com/J100TV. Be there sometime streaming. I've been getting into ridiculous Twitter arguments, so if you want to see that stupid trash, go ahead. Maybe on Twitter at J100, and I'm not gonna forget it this week. Every Sunday, hanging out here with you guys here, the Omega Level Nerds.
You should do a YouTube video of you just like going through and recapping Twitter arguments.
I mean, I tried to. I did when I was on Twitch, but I don't know. The one that I had that you guys saw recently or may have seen recently, there's so much that I've read and already knew a lot of that kind of came together over the past like week or so. That I don't know. I couldn't help myself. I just saw the wrongness, and I had to say something. But then it got to the point where like there was so much things to explain that I just stopped because I couldn't do it anymore. But yeah, I'm trying to, just I don't know. It's therapeutic for me or something. But I try to do nerdy stuff sometimes. It's just, I don't know. There's nothing really to say about the nerdy stuff. WandaVision, cool. Attack on Titan, new episode. Like, all right.
I'm 3 weeks behind now. Thanks for reminding me. I gotta watch the
Attack on Titan?
the last couple. Yeah.
I forgot about that series. I need to like catch up.
Yeah, I did too.
But
when I was on COVID, when I had COVID, I caught the fuck up.
There's a couple series that I forgot about because I've been addicted to watching Dead Files, and that's on every Tuesday, as well as BattleBots is every Tuesday. So
nice.
It's all our dad ever watches half the time I go over there, D, is BattleBots.
Really?
I put my son in robotics club to make me a BattleBot. But for some reason, they're making Wallies. How am I going to fight a Wally? I guess we're going to fucking fight for Wallies. I don't even care.
Weaponize the Wally.
I have to point this out, Jay. I just totally realized your Infinity Gauntlet behind you.
Oh.
That's been there.
I'm sitting there, I was like, what the fuck? I thought it was like a troll or something. I was like, wait a minute. That's a fucking Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah. It's a piggy banks. I got it at the record.
Nice.
It's so
piggy
cute.
Bank
It's
Infinity.
a piggy bank.
I want to find that Final Fantasy picture he has.
I have a Dr. Doom piggy bank. He's cute too.
already got his Chrono Trigger one. But yeah, I gotta get that Final Fantasy.
Oh, so I have.
Yeah.
I see one at the exchange.
Yeah, I think that's where I got the Chrono Trigger.
My
Chrono Trigger. It's been a while.
I got more too. I got Endgame somewhere.
I don't know. Alan's showing me this Hobby Lobby section that they have. Look cool.
I've seen that. We have a Hobby Lobby in town, but I haven't gone to it because I heard some shit.
This one just opened in Avon. Our mom was there, and she's like, "Oh, click," and I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like the whole aisle's nothing but Batman and MCU shit, and I'm like, "How the fuck?" It's like I can't go there right now. I gotta wait.
Yeah, I know. I'm broke. But before we remain too much in the tangential here, Volsker, what you up to? Where can we find you?
Yeah, so over at the YouTubes, type in Volsker and you can find one of my mini videos. I haven't really done too much content lately, but I knew to get back and got some unboxings and some comics I want to talk about. I will be working on a blogger soon because I started writing. So
Nice.
I want to start writing some short stories and posting them as I work on some of my larger projects. Twitter at Volsker, Instagram I am Volsker, and then every week getting hot nerdy up in here with the Omega Level Nerds.
Awesome, absolutely. As far as your buddy D Square here, of course, on Twitter at DSquare72, you can follow me there. On that Twitter profile, you can find a link to my to my YouTube account that is not cool enough to have a personal URL, so that's probably the easiest way to find it. Currently playing through Octopath Traveler, so you can follow my adventures there. But of course, the show would greatly appreciate you checking us out on Twitter at Omega Level Nerds. We could definitely use some love and follows there. I would definitely appreciate that. Should also have some new comic reviews coming out on the superheroespeak.com website. Latest one I reviewed, not up on the website yet, but would be by Xenoscope, Grim Fairy Tales Dark Princess. So it was an interesting graphic novel that you'll see a review for soon, and others. But until next time, guys, thank you so very much. For those that are listening or watching, appreciate it so very much. And as always, peace and love, and we'll talk to you again soon.